Need her young. We need her hot. We need her now.
People always ask for something new. It's inevitable. At 50, well, it stops.
Did you know that a woman's fertility starts to decrease about the age of 25?
How old is Jennifer? You better get busy. How the old bitch has been able to stick around for this long. That's the fucking mystery to me. Oh, Oscar winner, my ass. When was that? Back in the 30s? What? For King Kong?
Golden Globe goes to Demi Moore.
What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rehinged Diaries podcast with your host, Ali Karza. I know it's been a while. I am so sorry. It's been so long since I posted an episode, and I kind of just ghosted you guys. I normally tell you I'm going to take a break, or I just been consistent with this podcast. And I know I started off this year being but I am back with a very exciting episode that I've been wanting to talk about this conversation for so long, especially when I saw the film The Substance, which we're going to be talking about today's episode. But we will talk about why I've been gone and the future of this podcast. But I really want to get into this episode because for the longest time I've been scripting this episode and I've been getting in my head, and I'm I want it to be so perfect because it means so much to me, this conversation. But I'm bitch, just do it. Just do it. I wrote all my notes down and I really just want to dive in. Yeah. So without further ado, let's talk about the conversation of being expired and the ugly truth about aging for women specifically. This entire conversation is going to be based on the film The Substance, which if you haven't watched it already, what the fuck are you waiting for? Actually get off of this episode right now. Go watch the film. Be gagged. I literally made my supervisor watch this film, and I told her specifically because we're both obsessed with horror specifically and just gore and stuff like that. And I'm I cannot prepare you for what you're gonna experience watching this film. Specifically, the end of the film, it's it is so insane. But go watch it, okay? Because I was high out of my mind watching this film, and the ending, I was literally how much did I smoke? Because what the fuck? It was so insane. But I would pay millions to re-experience that all again because it's such a beautiful film. So The Substance. Demi Moore plays this aging woman who literally injects this substance and creates a version of herself that's more desirable and more youthful. And then there's herself, and they would basically trade places for 7 days. They would rot and you'd be living your life and then repeat. The thing that I find so interesting about this film is how it circles the idea that how far us women are willing to go to basically feel accepted by society. And it's all from a woman's point of view, because anyone can understand, oh my God, yes, Hollywood specifically, how there's, Ozempic, there's so many beauty standards that a lot of us are trying to fulfill. But I love specifically how they added body horror, it basically representing how far society is obsessed with, being youthful, but then how far we are willing to go. It is so unsettling, this film, how gruesome it is for your back to be literally split apart and have a human come out of you, a youthful version of you. And it's that is disturbing, the idea of your back being split and someone coming out of that. But then some people are okay, that sounds painful, but then the price that I get out of that, the price that I have to pay and the outcome that I get is this youthful version of myself that I really, want to latch onto. The amount of surgeries people are willing to get to fit what society says us women need to be. It's it creates that big conversation, which I really appreciated so much. I feel it created the conversation of why women fear aging so much. So let's talk about that. Why do women fear aging? And it's because beauty equals currency. We already have a whole conversation about pretty privilege in this podcast. If you guys want to check it out, feel free to do so, because it's such an important conversation, and it's something I even experience a lot. Like, I realized how many opportunities, how much nicer people are to me. The whole month of December, I was so sick, and I literally was going to go get medicine. I went to urgent care, and I had no makeup on. I wasn't allified. I was a lady. And the way that people were treating me, I'm like, I bet if I was glammed up, everybody would be so nice to me. There's that aspect of how people are going to treat you better, but you do get more opportunities. You're more desirable. You get so much more handed to you when you are aesthetically beautiful. And that's just the unfortunate truth. I think another thing is that why women fear aging is the fear of being invisible. Because can you imagine, especially, that's a conversation I see happen a lot when it comes to celebrities, when it comes to influencers, when there's like these 19 or 20-year-old influencers up and rising. It's a bit like annoying, because it's like, damn, like there's these youthful people and they're like just so much more desirable in the eyes of Hollywood or men. And then there's you, someone that has so much to bring to the table, and you're so talented. You've been in the game for so long, but you will just get overlooked. And that's something I feel like a lot of women experience and even have the fear of, going through. And then the big one is the lack of representation of older women in media. Because think about it, we've been seeing the conversation of women that are older going through these really big changes to look younger, and there's nothing wrong with that, because beauty is currency. No judgment, because like I said, if you had the resources and you had the money, you would do it too. Like you would if you knew the amount of things and the amount of opportunities that will come your way because you do that. It's a big thing. And it's really sad, because when it comes to like even the film in general, when it came to like getting older and just being an older woman, that I think that was the main critique that I saw about this film, where it's like, okay, the saggy tits, like everyone's like, oh my God, that's so terrifying. But then like that is a lot of people's fate. And it's like, why not romanticize it? We romanticize everything. Some women romanticize a really shitty relationship. Why not romanticize, okay, my tits started to sag a little bit. You know what? And they still slay. It's like, why not romanticize that? Like, I feel like there is a lot of lack of representation when it comes to older women in media, which I do feel like now it's changing because of Demi Moore in this film, and it's creating a bigger conversation. But I feel like there's another big factor why a lot of women fear aging, because it's just so much that goes along with just getting older when it comes to being in Hollywood or even just in life in general. Like, we're told as women that our 20s is our prime, and then the moment we hit our 30s, it's like, okay, your value, like they remind you, like you would not forget. I'm 25 and I'm feeling the pressure where they're like, okay, you're 5 years till 30, but once you reach 30, your value starts to decrease. It starts to decrease. And like I said, that's when the younger women in their 19 or 20s, they're the ones that are coming in, and you start getting, overlooked. It's like, it's a thing. It really is. It's a fear for a reason, because it happens. I feel like the solutions when it comes to, the fear of us women, aging, would have to be rewriting the narrative around beauty and aging, because I feel like when it comes to aging, it is a fearful thing, but then there's also the positives, like the wisdom and the confidence, because bitch, like when I really I feel like this film found me at the time that I really needed it, because when I turned to 25, well, first when I turned 24, I was freaking out. We'll get to all of that, but like I said, to make a long story short, before I really do go around my point that I'm trying to make, is the fact that when you reach a specific age in your 20s, you do start to freak out before you actually turn 30. And I remember being like, oh my God, I wasted my early 20s. I'm already halfway through my 20s and I haven't accomplished half of that I accomplished. I know people my age that traveled around the world and did the craziest things, and I'm 25 and I haven't really done shit. I still have yet to solo travel. It's really that, it's really that thing. But then I also started realizing, there'll be times I'm like, I wish I had this at this time in my life, but I'm 25 and I feel like the most confident I could ever be right now. And I can't wait as I get older, the more confidence that I'm gonna obtain as I go through my life and my experiences. Whereas when I was 21, bitch, I was the most insecure person you could meet. Like, I would get so red and then stutter. Like, I could never even imagine starting my podcast because I'm like, I can't even talk to a human being without stuttering and getting flustered and embarrassed and then not wanting to talk and interact with anyone. Whereas now I started my podcast because I'm like, fuck it. Like, fuck it. And it's because I had to go through my life experience and realizing that nothing really matters. So why not just take a leap of faith and doing what feels authentic to you? But you wouldn't have all that without the wisdom that which would then you would develop your confidence. It's like, that's the beauty of aging. You have to experience life. Whereas they want us to be so youthful, but then we are a lot more naive and we can get easily taken advantage of, which that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Now, another solution when it comes to the fear of aging would be redefining what's attractive. Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh my God, of course, like when you're younger and you're more youthful, we're so much more desirable and beautiful. But then, like, can you imagine, like, I've seen some bad bitches with some grays in their hair, okay? I've seen women with a full gray hair, like full head of gray hair, and it's so beautiful. I've seen older women with tattoos because I hate when people are like, oh my God, you're going to regret your tattoos when you get older. I've seen some badass bitches, or the term MILF. Like, come on now. Like, I feel like you can redefine what you feel is attractive. There's like, Demi Moore is so hot, okay? She is like the woman that, like, my MILF that I would love to just, like, she's my crush, truly. And it's like, I feel like she makes what, like, aging is beautiful. Like, of course people are gonna have that conversation, she got so much work, but I'm like, no, she is just beautiful to me. And we'll get to why I feel like she's so beautiful in so many aspects. Redefine the whole conversation of fear and aging, and we'll get to that. Another solution I feel like would really help with the whole conversation of the fear of aging for us women would be dismantling the expiration date and just finding the power within your 30s, your 40s, and beyond. Because I feel like a lot of us, we are told that we have an expiration date. Like I said, when it comes to your 20s, they say it is your prime. But this is literally the years that we're just idiots. We're just idiots trying everything, exploring life. We're developing the wisdom that we're going to have that's going to take us to the next level of our lives. But it's crazy because society gave us a timeline. They said after 20, your values start to decrease. But after your 30s, oh baby, forget about being attractive. Forget about being a sex icon. No, your 20s and your 30s are where it's at. After that, you start to devalue. You start to devalue as a woman. And I think when it comes to just like dismantling the expiration date, when it's like, okay, bitch, what if I want to be 50 and hot as fuck? Why are you gonna sit there and let society tell you that that's not possible? Last time I checked, us humans, we're creators. Right now, what I'm doing is creating a podcast episode for you. We all have Instagram, or we have some sort of social media, correct? You are a creator. You created an image of what you want us to see. So, imagine if someone told me right now, you can't be a podcaster because you have a horrible stutter. You know, like, there's so many things that anyone could have told me that could have prevented me from creating this podcast, podcasts in general, period. I could sit there and say, fuck no. At the end of the day, we're all creators. So if someone's going to tell you that you can't do that, you can say, bitch, watch me. And that's exactly what Demi Moore said. So now let's talk about Demi Moore's Golden Globe speech. Like, the fact that she got that award was so beautiful. Her speech meant everything to me.
Oh, wow. I really wasn't expecting that. I'm just in shock right now. I've been doing this a long time, like over 45 years, and this is the first time I've ever won anything as an actor. And I'm just so humbled and so grateful. 30 years ago, I had a producer tell me that I was a popcorn actress, and at that time, I made that mean that this wasn't something that I was allowed to have, that I could do movies that were successful, that made a lot of money, but that I couldn't be acknowledged. And I bought in, and I believed that. And that corroded me over time to the point where I thought a few years ago that maybe this was it. Maybe I was complete. Maybe I've done what I was supposed to do. And as I was at kind of a low point, I had this magical, bold, courageous, out of the box, absolutely bonkers script come across my desk called The Substance. And the universe told me that you're not done. And I am so grateful to Corley for trusting me to step in and play this woman, for Margaret for being the other half of me that I couldn't have done without, for looking out for me. To the people who've been with me for over 30 years, Kevin Uvain, Jason Weinberg, everybody at CAA, Untitled, Lead, all of the people who've stood by me, especially the people who've believed in me when I haven't believed in myself. And I'll just leave you with one thing that I think this movie is imparting, is in those moments when we don't think we're smart enough or pretty enough or skinny enough or successful enough or basically just not enough. I had a woman say to me, just know you will never be enough, but you can know the value of your worth if you just put down the measuring stick. And so today I celebrate this as a marker of my wholeness and of the love that is driving me, and for the gift of doing something I love and being reminded that I do belong. Thank you so much.
The reason why I feel like her Golden Globe speech was so powerful is because she stood on a stage. Like, the fact that this woman was told time and time again that your time has passed, like, why are you still doing this? Like, there's so many other actresses that are younger than you that, you know, they can bring so much more to the table than you, this 61-year-old that's not gonna be as desirable. But the fact that she won a Golden Globe at 61, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure she said she was in the game for 45 years of being an actress. This is the first time she's getting an award. So keep that. Like, we're gonna have the conversation of people feeling like they don't have enough time, because that's a whole nother thing I really want to talk about in this episode. But the fact that she sat there at 61, imagine has she listened to people. Imagine if she really sat there and said, you know what? Because this person told me that I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore. Why should I continue accepting work and something that I'm so passionate about if my time has really come? She sat there and said, there is no expiration date unless you believe that there is. That is the That is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Because I feel like society likes to tell us women specifically that our expiration date is coming up. You have to give up when that time comes up. You have to, because they said that we have to. And I feel like women forget that. They forget that they're powerful. Us women are powerful, for one. And two, we have a voice, and it very much matters. And people can make you feel small, but she has the resources to say, you know what? I'm going to still say fuck you and go against the odds. Because anybody in her, in her state could have sat there and said, you know what? I'm having very powerful people that have it all. And they're telling me something, so maybe there's some truth behind it. She said, fuck no. I don't believe that there's an expiration date. And the fact that she was rewarded for going against what society has said, I feel like is such a beautiful thing. Because she was in the game for 45 years, never got an award, which I think that's crazy. She finally got an award for this beautiful role, what it represents. Because Demi Moore has been a conversation, which kind of is there's so much irony in her even playing this role, because everyone has a topic of conversation of like, she's been in the game for so long. Like, why is she still ongoing? Or people talk about all the work that she has got done. And it's like, I think it made her so perfect for this role because of that, and the fact that she just kept going. There's so much beauty behind that. So now let's talk about the conversation of us feeling like we run out of time, because that's a really scary thing for a lot of women aging that we will experience. It's like, oh my God, fuck, I wish I was 20 again so I can experience all these things and have all these opportunities because I was just simply younger. But now that I'm 25, fuck, is there anything that I can really get out of my life now? Because I'm not 20 anymore. And that's a fear that we all go through. Even me, I'm 25. I'm not even 30 yet. And I have that fear, which I really feel like inspired this episode. So, society gave us a timeline. Like I said, after 20 and you reach 30, okay, your value is going to start to decrease. And then definitely after 30, oh baby, don't even consider yourself sexy. Don't even consider yourself half the things that you've done years ago. You will not be able to It will not be socially acceptable to do that. I think the fear of aging and us running out of time, it really just keeps you feeling small. So it really just holds you back from your full potential. If you being like, well, damn, I might be 25, but what if I just like developed a lot of discipline to do this thing that my inner child would feel so happy that I decided to pursue. Yes, I didn't pursue it when I was 21, 22, 23, 24, but I'm 25. All we really have right now is the present moment. Why not do it? I really want to wrap it up with this, with as long as you're alive, you have time. The only way you actually run out of time is if you really stop believing that you have any left. Bitch, when I tell you that changed everything for me. So, oh yeah, I have my Hello Kitty cup. By the way, you guys, it fucking broke. And I'm like so sad because I'm like, did I buy it broken? Because I was drunk when I bought it. But I'm like, did I buy it broken or did I break it? I want to believe that I broke it because it'll make me feel better than being an idiot and buying something broken. What really inspired today's episode and this whole conversation is the fact that, like, I was in a loveless relationship. I was in a loveless relationship in my early 20s. And it's something that I held a lot of shame for a very long time. Because I'm like, this is really unfair that I sacrificed my youth. Time is so precious. Out of anything in this world, it's always going to be time that's the most valuable. The fact that I sacrificed my time for a relationship that was just not fucking worth it made me so angry. When I turned 24, I crashed the fuck out. Because that's when I finally rekindled a lot with my friends, from people from high school. And I really realized, oh my God, a lot of people traveled. A lot of people had the college or just club experiences. And I never did because I was in a loveless relationship. This is so unfair. Like, the fact that I'm 24 and I never solo traveled. I didn't even have a club experience, really. I didn't even have my first club experience. It just wasn't fair. I was so angry and so bitter that I crashed out. So I'm like, this is so fucking unfair. I have no time left. It really felt like the end of the world, as if I wasn't going to be turning 25 the following year. Like, bitch, what? Like, I really acted like I was going to die the following day. Like, knock on wood, I won't. But it was just like, what the fuck? So it was just like really, really bizarre. Then I turned 25, and that's when everything, like, my frontal lobe, I really feel like developed. Like, it really, really did. Because that's when I started realizing, wait a second, bitch. If we're going to get real logical here, all we really have is the present moment. That's all that we have. Because the past technically doesn't even exist. Like, it's just memories in your head. And the future can be altered to whatever. So you can argue, like, I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but it's like, all we really have is the present moment. So why the fuck am I going to spend the present moment dwelling on what I didn't do when I can just do it now? That's when I'm like, oh, is this what it feels like to have a developed frontal lobe? Because I'm like, what the fuck? It was insane. I'm like, wait a second. Damn, I was like, I've always wanted to be a singer. Always wanted to learn how to dance. I always wanted to, there's so many big things that I want to do for myself. And I really sat there and thought for the longest time that it's not possible, because I'm like, my 20s have passed. Like, I'm about to damn near be 30. And I'm like, okay. But if you start now, imagine how far you can be and how big you can become. Like, do you know how many people that lived on this earth that don't even, they're not alive anymore, but they just sat there and just realized time is so valuable and it's so precious. Instead of dwelling what you couldn't do or did do or whatever the fuck, just do it. Like, can you imagine if I really sat there and thought, well, I can't start a podcast because, Like, I just did it. And it's just so crazy how us women give ourselves this timeline of damn, we can't do this anymore because we're not hot, we're not this, we're not that. Especially single moms or just moms in general, young, teen moms. They're like, damn, I wasted my early, whatever, my teen or my prime time, being a mother. And they think, well, I'm 30 something or I'm 40. I can't do it. Yes, the fuck you can. You're a creator. As long as you're breathing on this earth, you have time. You could spend this present moment doing it. And I don't want to hear the bullshit of like, I'm too busy. Bitch, I work an overnight job. I go to the gym. I'm doing TikTok again full time. And I still made time to do this podcast episode. Yes, it's chaotic. But then when you really realize how precious time is, it's like, yeah, you might be a little tired. But then you're going to look back like, damn, that was fun. I took a bet on myself. That is so fucking amazing. Imagine if I just sat there and said, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. Your brain is going to sit there and create every single excuse possible. And then the limiting beliefs that society already tells us makes it really, really worse. That's when you got to let your inner child talk. You got to let her be loud sometimes and say, damn, imagine how little Allie will feel if I sat there and learned how to dance and just like, did something really cool with that. I've always wanted to, I've always wanted to be a theater kid. I always wanted to be on Broadway. What if I just sat there and took a bet on myself and just still did it? Who fucking cares if I didn't get to do a lot of things in my early 20s or like younger? Who fucking cares? I'm 25. I have the present moment to still create what I want for myself. We need to stop this buffoonery of convincing ourselves that we don't have time or creating all these excuses in the world that it's not obtainable. It is, baby. You just got to sit there and let that inner child, like she probably wants that. She always desired that and craved that out of you. You got to sit there as the adult, develop the discipline and say, I got to make that happen for her. Because there's times I'm like, I don't want to make episodes. I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to do shit with my life. I just want to lay in bed and rot. But then I think about little Allie. I'm like, that's not fair to her. After all that shit that she has encountered, dealt with in her life and survived. No. That's a disservice to her. You got to think about that shit. Anyone out there who's thinking about, well, maybe I always just wanted to like paint and have that displayed in an art gallery. Whatever the fuck. It could be something so small. It doesn't have to be anything extremely big. People causing all this ruckus. Sorry. It's just like, can you imagine like sitting there and like it could be something so small. All you have to do is just start today. Even small. But you have to sit there and be like little whatever your name is. Little John, little Samantha. She deserves that, right? You don't do it for yourself, then do it for that little person that deserves it. To make their dream a reality. You don't know how satisfying it is to make a vision in your head into reality. That's what I love creating podcast episodes. Because it's an image in my head. Oh my God, I want to make an episode about how beautiful this film, The Substance, was, and creating this conversation of women feeling like, oh my God, as I get older, I'm becoming less valuable. And how Demi Moore said, fuck that. No, I'm 61 and I won my first Golden Globe. And I made this most iconic film that is going to sit with so many women and so many people for as long as time can tell. I think that's so beautiful. That would have never happened if she listened to the voices in her head that told her, no, your time has passed, baby. Just wrap it up. No. Us as women, we need to come together and realize that we are so much more powerful. We're so powerful that we're always being demeaned and always having to be told to hold ourselves back and there's so many fears and anxieties created and pushed upon us so we can't reach our full potential. And we need to come together and realize that we're actually so much more powerful than we really are, and that these limiting beliefs are created for a reason. And it's never too late. It's never too late. You have time. Breathe. Even if you need a full 24 hours just to cry and allow all this energy to come out so you can remember, okay, bitch, it's time to get locked in. It's 2025. Let's get locked in. But yeah, that is everything for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Those that are watching, how do I feel about my little PJs? I have these cute little bunny little slippers that I wish I could show you guys. It's so cute, but it's like all the way down there. But yeah, I'm like rocking some cute PJs. I have work later, but I'm like, I wanted to be comfortable filming this episode. I have my cute little Hello Kitty little tumbler. For those that are watching, if you're wondering why I'm so tan and so just scrumptious and beautiful and perfect, finally did my Valentine's Day photo shoot that I do yearly. I talked about it on my TikTok if you haven't followed me yet, in the description down below. But it's really funny because I started it off like 2 years ago as a joke. Like I remember I was like, I just want to do a big comeback, like a big fuck you to my ex. I've always loved modeling. Like I remember the first time I bought lingerie ever, I was like, I want to be a Victoria's Secret like model. Like I love lingerie and what it does and the confidence that it gives me, that I decided every single Valentine's Day from that moment on that I wanted to do a lingerie photo shoot every single time. This was my first time working with a professional like a professional photographer for specifically Valentine's Day. My first time was for my birthday. My shoots are on my Instagram. I'll leave it on the screen. I loved it so much. I love modeling and just like, I want to work with more photographers. It is my goal this year to really get into modeling, which really inspired this episode. So I'm like, well, damn, I love my podcast. It is my baby. I will never stop this, without a doubt. But I also want to pursue a lot of bigger things because I'm 25 now. And I'm like, I have no excuse now. If I'm going to take time out of the equation of like this, you know, this little like society's little deadline that they're trying to push upon me, then bitch, let me just do everything that scares me. I always wanted to do professional modeling. So my goal this year is to work with a lot of photographers, and I would love a lot of portraits of myself in my room. Like Trisha Paytas is my idol, and I'm so jealous of the fact that she has so many photos of herself. Like people will laugh at it, think it's like self-obsessive, but that's something I've always wanted. Like she inspired that out of me. So I was like, I want to do so many photo shoots this year and have them framed in my room. And I just like, oh, like I just want that for myself. So I'm really excited for this photo shoot. It's going to be displayed on Valentine's Day. So follow me if you haven't already. I'm just really, really excited for you guys to see that. And I just had so much fun planning it. Like I love photo shoots so much because of the creative aspect of like, oh my God, I'm having this vision in my head and I'm executing it. It's like podcasting. It's like content creation for me. One day music. Like there's so many things that I want to explore when it comes to my creative aspect in my head. Like I love it so much. It means so much to me when I have an idea in my head and I execute it. And when it's executed and even people just like it, even if people don't fucking like it and I get dragged for it, it's just the idea of me executing a vision in my head. It's so cool. So I had so much fun with this photo shoot. I self-tanned to the gods is why I'm all scrumptious and whatnot. And I definitely want to like challenge myself to get better at dancing. Like I definitely just want to do more like scary things. Like that's the reason why I decided to take a step back from my podcast. I will post like probably once a month. Like I definitely want to slow it down, but I will not ever give up on this podcast. So for anyone that subscribed to me, I will still be here, okay? I just won't do the weekly episodes because it is a lot of time that comes out of like executing all of it, and I don't have my own team yet, so it's like I'm a one-man show. It's overwhelming, but I definitely been like doing TikTok full time. I post every single day. I made it my mission ever since the 1st of February. I'm gonna post every single day, and I want to be consistent and see what can really come out of just taking a bet on myself and being consistent. And all of it is scary. All of it is very scary. And also a really, really big accomplishment of mine that for anyone who's kept up with me for a really long time would know that when I was with my ex-boyfriend, I put myself in a lot of debt. It's a long story. I was in a lot of credit card debt, but now I'm officially credit card debt free. It took 2 years. I worked like a fucking dog, and it was very scary, like how much I had to work, how much I had to really sacrifice to get to where I'm at now. But I did it 2 years later. I'm so happy. Now my goal is to get my own apartment with my little wiener dog. Like I have it all vision, and I'm gonna have all my pictures displayed in my apartment. I'm just so excited. Like I'm so excited for what life is gonna bring to me, and I'm just gonna be on work mode. Like I want to do everything that scares me, every single thing that aligns with me, that's authentic, even if it's fucking terrifying, even if I suck. Like when I first started this podcast, it was caca poo poo shit, but you know what, people eventually stuck around. Like you just got to take a bet on yourself and allow your, like Doechii, the rapper, shout out to her winning her Grammy. She deserved it. But I remember there was like a clip of her that was like, I'm allowed to fucking suck at something. Like I'm allowed to try something and be awful at it. And that should be inspiring to anyone out there that is afraid to try things because they're afraid they're going to suck. That's the point. You're supposed to suck because you don't know. Like the whole point is you trying. And there's something so much more inspiring when someone sucks at something and then they become magnificent. Like you don't know how great you can be at something if you don't just allow yourself to suck and be awful and embarrass yourself a little bit, you know? So I feel like that's that's the direction my life is going in right now. Or I'm like, I'm just taking bets on myself. I'm going to be posting consistently on TikTok. I will still be making episodes on here because this is my baby. This is my everything. I can't wait to really get this podcast being so much bigger than what it is when I develop my own team. Like, there's so much I want to do for myself. And I'm just happy where I'm at currently in my life. I'm so happy with the people that I have in my life that love me, that are supporting me, and motivate me to get me on track. They're like, bitch, you better clock in this 2025, okay? There's no excuse. The sky is the limit. But yeah, I'm just in a really good place. I don't know if I was in a good place the last time I filmed an episode. December was a really rough month, okay? I was sick the entire month. I was really, really depressed, and there was just so much bullshit coming my way. But I'm in such a good place now that I'm debt free. I'm gonna be looking for apartments, and I'm really just like, just one step at a time, following my dreams. It's all that I want out of this life. It's my heart's greatest desire. But yeah, I love you guys so much. For anyone that tunes into every episode, that waits, the people that hit me up that are like, oh my god, I love your podcast, or they just tune in, I love you so much. Even if you hate watching me, hi bitch. I'm still doing good. I'm still thriving. But yeah, I love you so much. If you're listening to this on Spotify, y'all know the drill. 5 stars rating, it helps me a lot, and you're gonna help me get to my next apartment. Okay, so if you're watching this on the podcast YouTube channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, most importantly, and comment down below your take on this conversation of aging in women, or the film The Substance. Did you hate it? Did you love it? And just like how you feel about Demi Moore's Golden Globe, her speech, or just her winning that award. I want to hear it all in the comment section down below. I need that engagement up, okay? But I love you guys so much. If I haven't told you already, I'll say it a billion more times, because it's coming from here, okay? I love you guys so much. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.